Coming up at 4 Eastern right here on CBS, the Saints come marching into Seattle. That to take on Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Folks, it is an AFC West battle in the City of Angels. That's when Bo Nix and the Broncos face Justin Herbert and the Chargers, Mr. Quarterback.
Yeah, let's start with the Broncos taking on the Chargers. I want to start with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a tough loss that they had last week, and it's in their own hands, right? Those are things that you have to control. You cannot have those kind of penalties at the end of the game. I'm looking for them to rebound. I'm looking for this to be a litmus test of who is the top dog in the AFC West, because right now the Chiefs are 0-2. The Raiders are stumbling. I look at these two teams as being able to separate themselves today. If you're the Chargers, I think you've got this opportunity to put your foot on top of that division. I expect this one to be physical on both sides, and this is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire. It's also going to come down to red zone efficiency. When I'm looking at these two squads, how they're ending these drives, Coach. Are you getting points and just kicking field goals, or are you scoring touchdowns? And looking at what they have done over the first couple of weeks, they've been pretty efficient. So I feel like this is going to come down to that red zone area, teams capitalizing on scoring TDs.
And who are the LA Chargers? I mean, this is a team we thought coming in are going to run the football. It's, you know, Harbaugh's going to do that. They've come out throwing it the first 2 weeks with Justin Herbert, and I love what they're doing with McConkey, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson. These three guys have become a nightmare for teams to defend. So you start to think, if you can get the running game going, get Hampton going and get those guys going, man, you're laughing because you're just looking at me. You have
No, I was just because you asked who are the LA Chargers, and I'm thinking, who is Bill Cowher with that?
But I agree. I think the Denver Broncos, this is a must-win for these guys. Now, it's not must early in the season, but it's a statement game where you cannot lose to another division opponent.
But some might say that, though, even this early, because it could have playoff implications. But, Bill, these two teams, well coached. Who do you give the edge to, or how do you size it up?
I think it's two good coaches. I wouldn't put the edge to one or the other. I said it before with Brent. I just look at the narrative that you can paint right now if you're Sean Payton and talk about challenging your football team. Because I think there's levels of desperation that teams are playing at coming into this week. You're 0-2. You don't want to go 0-3. Right. For all the reasons that we talked about, your chances of playoffs are very, very minimal. But if you're 1-1 or if you're 2-0, you got a chance to kind of separate yourself and kind of make a statement early in the season.
Absolutely.
But you mentioned it, Coach. You know, the Chargers on offense been throwing the ball very well.
Yeah.
And what that does is it gives you the flexibility to run whatever you want going into weeks 3 and 4. It just opens up the run game.
To set up the run.
And then when you start running the ball, that play action is going to strike you so fast. So I'm looking at the Chargers with a slight edge in this one.
And I also think it's a great way for the season to start for the Chargers, because at some point in the year, their kryptonite last year at the end of the season was not being able to throw the football when they needed to.
Right.
They relied on the run too heavily at the beginning of the year. They're finding ways to win while using that passing game, and they're finding out, guess what? Justin Herbert's pretty damn good throwing it.
Segue to the Saints-Seahawks.
Saints-Seahawks, I look at this one. I think this is going to be a tough ball game up in Seattle. New Orleans, 0-2, but they have played better than people are giving them credit for.
Spencer Rattler's played good.
Spencer Rattler has given them a chance in each of the games that they've played. He's made some very good throws at the end of football games. I also look at the Seahawks. It's who are we becoming? We talk a lot about, you know, the Chargers or the Broncos in the other game. Are they going to be a legitimate contender in an NFC West that I think is wide open and is winning ball games? They've got to keep pace.
And who are they on defense? Try to speed up Spencer Rattler in the pocket, get him off his pivot, see if he can make those off-timely throws with his legs, because that usually puts young quarterbacks under pressure.
And Kenneth Walker picked up where he left off last week, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, 17 receptions the first 2 weeks. Off to a hot start.
Hey, Bill, do we have to turn these in, or should we keep it going?
I think we're going to come back, JB, but we got to make a change in history. Go to